November is finally upon us. Here in Pennsylvania and all over the country, the next few weeks are most bow hunters' best shot at sending an arrow towards a whitetail buck in hopes of punching a tag. With bucks chasing does and making far more daylight movement, you never quite know what'll happen next.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Well, here it is, the morning of November 3rd. It was this day last year where we had the encounter with the Pt2. But this morning we're actually gonna get the new place. I'm in here by myself still filming, and I've got a good feeling about this morning. It's probably 29 degrees right now, real still, and we've had quite a number of bucks on camera. Nothing huge, but a couple of 3.5-year-old deer, and my standards are a little lower at this property. I think specifically for kind of like a first buck on land I actually own, so we'll kind of see what happens today, but I'm feeling good about it. That was one of the 8 points that we've had on camera quite a lot, and haven't really named any of the bucks around here, but that has been the most visible one. My standards are a little different when it comes to bucks on this property. I think really just like if it were one, kind of like first buck on land I own, I would, like I said, lower my standards a little, but that guy needs another year and he'll look a lot better, so that's good to get eyes on him. I've only had the trail camera footage, so at least I can kind of confirm my suspicions that he needs another year.
After the promising morning sit, I headed 30 minutes north to my dad's property to hunt the evening, and he elected to hunt a stand surrounded by bedding areas in hopes that a buck would move through looking for a doe.
This is a weird hunt. I can see that deer down there. My brother saw this deer the other day. It's been doing a whole lot of that. I'm not sure if that was a bigger doe or what just ran off up there. But I don't know if it's sick or what's wrong with it. It just kind of coughs and makes all these noises.
Enjoying the meat hunters so far? Then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for tons of other hunting content, and stick around for all the upcoming hunting adventures this year and beyond. Like us on Facebook for regular news updates, and follow us on Instagram to keep up with where we're hunting currently. Now, back to the hunt.
There's a buck coming. Well, we're pretty well out of light already, but I believe that was a buck that we named the 8.5. Last year he had almost a 9th point. This year he's a clean 8, but I saw him for like 3 seconds. I think I bumped the camera when I reached my grunt call. If that's the case, I probably don't have it on film what he did, but man, November 3rd again. Last year, we encountered a buck that we named the Pt2, and he's kind of gotten a different name now. Switched his name to Double Edge for multiple reasons, not the least of which being he's no longer at 9 point. But, I mean, it's encouraging, but so unfortunate it was low light, and even more unfortunate, it was such a brief encounter, but the rut is on, it's November. Gotta love it. Hopefully we can close the deal.
As my hunt was playing out, across the farm, Isaac was having a great hunt of his own, overlooking a green field that deer traditionally feed in long before dark.
We got a much nicer evening this evening. It's about 45 degrees, it's not real windy, and it's not raining, so that's always a plus. I'm set up where we had the radish plot last year. It's back in the back corner of a field where the deer usually seem to feel pretty safe coming out early. So, hopefully that happens tonight. I got my fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
This buck bears almost uncanny resemblance to one I filmed from the same stand nearly 2 years earlier. With this in mind, believing the buck is older than it looks, Isaac decides he'll shoot the buck if it presents a shot. That shot opportunity never came, as the buck stayed beyond 75 yards before heading back to cover.
No shots were fired, but that was one of the best hunts I've had in a while. There's actually still a couple deer down in the corner of the field back here, but we're close to 10 minutes past legal shooting light. That one buck that was out there was actually pretty decent. I couldn't tell how many points he had, but it was definitely encouraging to see that movement that early in the evening. That was before 6 o'clock. That buck and then the smaller one that was chasing some of the younger does around, they were both out there maybe 5:30, 5:45, so it's definitely exciting going forward, so hopefully we can get him in a little closer next time.
As Isaac's hunt comes to a close, we head over to Finland to catch up with TK on his Finnish Whitetail Tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of the Finnish Whitetail Tour 2021. We're hunting today with my good friend Eki at Finn Hunting. Seeing as I have one on the board from last night, this morning's plan is to sit with my mate and mentor Alex. Alex has been monumental to me in terms of teaching me how to shoot a bow, how to tune a bow, and even how to tune arrows. But the catch here is he's never been bow hunting before, so hopefully now it's my turn to repay some favors and get him an animal on the deck. And it just so happened that we didn't have to wait too long before this young roe deer came out. However, all the willing in the world wouldn't get this roe deer into range. He sat out at about 70 meters away, chomping away, not interested in us at all, and eventually showed us his tail and disappeared. So with the morning sit done and dusted, before breakfast we decided to go set up everything for the afternoon sit. This trip is the first time I've ever hunted out of saddles, and I just have to say that I really love them. For me, traveling all the time, the whole setup is super lightweight and I can easily fit it all in my luggage. I had strongly considered getting a climbing tree stand, but they are pretty bulky, pretty heavy, and you are also bound to trees with not a lot of branches on them. Because I am going to brand new spots all the time, all these factors were really going to handicap me. Even though I'm breaking small bits of deadwood here, this setup allows me to easily move past any limbs that I need to. To give you an idea how easy this all is, this is only the 3rd time I've set this up, and I managed to do it in about 20 minutes. Nowadays, I have the whole setup down to about 10, and I'm sure there are people that can do it even faster than that. However, I need to be honest. Before I started all this hunting stuff, I was an arborist for 16 years, which means I'm very comfortable in trees. So potentially what I'm telling you, in terms of how easy I have found the setup to be, might not be transferable to everyone. And yes, I used to have dreadlocks. So, with everything set up and all the shooting lanes checked, it was time to head down and back to the camp for some food and a bit of rest before heading out again for the afternoon. Second day, 3rd sit. We saw a roe deer this morning. I went with Alex this morning to see if he can get some, and he's a new hunter, so try and settle his nerves a little bit and stuff, you know. So today was set up. If you watched last year's show, it's where the doe busted me on just before dark. But I'm set up inside the forest now. Got a whole lot of forest trails here, and there's a couple of scrapes over there. So just gonna sit and hope something comes in really. Yeah, I like it. It's a really nice setup. So we'll see how we go. Exciting anyway. I quickly checked that I could draw my bow properly and that my shooting lanes were actually okay. And then all that was left to do was settle in for the evening and play the waiting game. Nothing came in, however the next morning I would claim my very first ever whitetail buck. It's Monday morning. Boy, is it cold. Been out for lot more activity on the trail cameras and stuff last night, so hopefully things are moving, but this seemed to be quite nocturnal still, unfortunately, so, but it can switch at any time, so get out and see what we can find. And switch it did. About 10 minutes after it was actually light enough to see anything, I noticed some movement coming through the trees. And sure enough, my first ever buck stepped out into a shooting lane. I just killed my first buck. Eow! I saw it coming through the trees over there. Oh my god. I really thought this morning was a wash. It's crazy, man. Zero tracking too, but it just stopped perfectly broadside there, and I think maybe I had it a little bit too high that time. Oh, yeah, I must have. What's this going? No, damn GoPro stopped. Oh, let's go and have a look. It's already dead, I can see. So, yeah. My first buck, it's not a monster, and I'm sure there's some, especially Americans, going, why the hell did you shoot this one? My first whitetail buck. I've been going for this for 3 years now, and Eki also said if you see something, don't not shoot it, because you probably won't get another chance. And there's a bit of a overabundance of whitetail in Finland too, so they're not as picky as in America. I don't know why I'm justifying myself. I'm super happy. I didn't think anything was coming this morning. It was so windy, and I don't know why I didn't think that was going to come in, but you can probably hear the wind now actually. But yeah, and dropped them on the spot. I don't know, I've shot a lot of great stuff this year, and this isn't the best looking trophy, but animal's gonna taste amazing. And you know, this has been a personal thing for me ever since I started bow hunting. We watch all the American videos, and I just really wanted to get a whitetail buck, and like I say, I'm super duper happy. I'm actually yeah, it's a little bit emotional to get it done. I don't think anybody really understands outside of Sweden how hard it is to bow hunt, because it's illegal in Sweden. There's not really any good mentorship programs. Everything I know and I've learned has been from YouTube, basically. You know, I grew up in New Zealand, but we rifle hunted, and my dad's never bow hunted before. So, you know, if you're an American out there, or anyone, and you're lucky that your father taught you how to bow hunt, you know, that's awesome. That's so cool, man. You don't know how lucky you are. And where I'm basically kind of having to relearn it all again, you know, from scratch. So yeah, I just need to aim a little bit lower. we're already, what are we, 3 days into a 8-day tour or something. So yeah, there's no tags in Finland too. I forgot to say that. I've probably been spieling on for 10 minutes now, and I'm so happy. There's no tag limits in Finland. So if I see another buck, I can shoot another buck. It's good times. Like I was saying, there's a very healthy population of whitetail here, and they're invasive. So yeah. Cheers. Now, I'd actually lost my cell phone the night before while we were looking for that yearling. So there was only one way I could try and get Icky's attention, and that was to jump up and down in front of the trail camera. I had no idea when he was going to turn up, so I decided to drag it out about 1 kilometer to the road's edge. I knew the chances that I'd have to wait a little while were quite high, so I settled in and let everything sink in properly. Even though it was cold and the hail started falling down, I was beyond ecstatic and I couldn't feel anything at all. I honestly couldn't even tell you how long I sat there. Time flew by and I was just absolutely chuffed. Sure enough, Eki turned up with Alex. Well. So that wraps up this part with Finn hunting. Next episode we go to another part in Finland. I managed to shoot another buck. If anyone wants to come and hunt whitetails in Finland, you better check out Finn hunting and get in touch with Eki. Cheers for watching everyone. See you next time.